stay fly, stay fly.
Why do people rob banks? Because that's where the money is. Well, why would I try to get my books into bookstores if that's not where children are? If you say I'm clumsy, you're going to probably trip over everything. But just like Ali, if you say I am the greatest, you will be destined to be great yourself. A great leader creates their own game and uses their strengths to be able to move forward and win in that game. And that's exactly what I did. Stay fly, stay fly, stay fly, stay fly.
After all that party, the views expressed by the guests are only the views of the guests, unless we say we agree, unless explicitly stated.
That's a lot. Yeah, pop your collar on that. 6 books, man. Hey, Code Keepers, we're hanging out with the good brother Ty Allen Jackson. You can see Danny Dollar in the background. I'm telling you, Code Keepers, this one is going to be for the books. This one is going to be for the books. We have the good brother Ty Allen Jackson, award-winning children's book author, youth motivational speaker, and literacy advocate with us. So, hey, it's time to make our own money. I love that. Amen. I love that. Welcome to Get On Code. All right, welcome to Get On Code, the Fly Guy Show, which is a series of melanated conversations focused on empowerment, health, wealth, and knowledge of self.
People think in binary choices because they are conditioned to.
And on the wall was a picture of a wolf and a lion. I think the wolf was the Democratic Party, the lion was the Republicans.
But the drug trade and all these illegal stuff that people do, that's still economics. It's just that they couldn't do it in a traditional system.
We're talking about melanated wealth.
So we can build wealth, but we just, for some reason, don't seem to be able to transfer it.
You had a great experience. Fine. That means nothing.
What were you told as a child about education? You had to be how many times better?
Every impression without an expression becomes depression.
All right, Code Keepers. Hey, get on code, teach the code, become the code. And today, as every day, the code is empowerment. And with us today is the good brother Ty Allen Jackson, the author of the new book, Make Your Own Money. I love that. Make your own money. It's all about that. Yes. Earn it, save it, spend it, and dream big. We're going to have to talk about dream big. Hey, Ty, man, I love this book. Tell us, I understand you have 6 books. I just found this out. That's newsflash. Talk about your 6 books, good brother.
So I have 6. I'm the author of 6 books. I'm an indie author up to this point. Make Your Own Money is my very first published book. Up to that, my previous 5 books are all self-published. I've sold over 100,000 copies of my self-published books all by myself. I've worked with institutions like Google's for Entrepreneurs, Northern Kentucky University, the Federal Reserve of Cleveland. I can't tell you hundreds of schools across the country, including YMCA, Boys and Girls Clubs. You name the youth institution, I've collaborated with them in some form or fashion about empowering our young people about literacy, finance, entrepreneurship, overcoming adversity. You name it, I've done it. And I'm honored and privileged to have this space to be able to support our children in growth and development and just being the best versions of themselves.
I say that. Yeah. Yes. Ty Allen Jackson. The book is Make Your Own Money. But as he just stated, he has a couple of books. So, this Danny Dollar's Extraordinaire, the Lemonade Escapade, that's interesting. Okay. So is Danny Dollars a character that keeps popping up? Is he your Superman, your Spider-Man, your Black Panther,
He is definitely my flagship book. He's the book that my very first test as an author was through Danny Dollar. So he's kind of the foundation for me becoming an author in the first place, teaching kids about finance and entrepreneurship. This is the book that I've utilized in working with Northern Kentucky University, as well as the Federal Reserve, and inspiring tens of thousands of children to start their own business. But I also have 5 other books. 2 of them are titled The Super Duper Kid, 1 and 2, which is just a classic Good versus Evil superhero story, which I'm a huge superhero fan. So once I became an author, writing a superhero story just fit and made sense. I have 2 picture books, one called When I Close My Eyes, about the power of imagination, and another book called You Are Amazing, that teaches about empowerment and self-esteem. And then, of course, the new book is titled Make Your Own Money, How to Earn It, Save It, Spend It, and Dream Big. It's my very first published book, published by Story Publishing, and I'm completely grateful for them for seeing the vision of promoting financial literacy to our kids.
Wow, I say that. Well, you keep talking about financial literacy, and you've also talked about entrepreneurship. So, the Get On Code show was focused on empowerment. So how can these 2 things, financial literacy and entrepreneurship, truly empower us?
Well, I mean, first of all, our children need to be able to see a wider scope of what possibilities are for them to become the best versions of themselves. I think very often we can only become what we see. And if we're not accustomed to seeing entrepreneurs, if we're not accustomed to seeing people outside of our immediate area, it's very difficult for us to be able to dream of becoming bigger. So it's really essential for our kids to see us become, store owners and shop owners and inventors and doing things outside of the scope of what they may see in their immediate environment. They can tell you what a bus driver is. No hating on bus drivers, but if a kid wants to, as an artist, and they can become a typographer, unless they actually know what a typographer does, they can't see themselves becoming that. So I think having a sense of entrepreneurship opens up possibility. And then when you talk about financial literacy, I mean, that's the catalyst for almost everything. In fact, I believe that outside of your health, there is no greater common denominator of what is going to enhance your quality of life than finance. And the fact that financial literacy is not taught in schools, and it's barely taught in the home, because so many of our adults and parents don't have enough financial knowledge to be able to talk about it, and maybe even feel ashamed about it. I feel a book like Danny Dollar simplifies the process and allows both parent and child to learn together what the path of entrepreneurship is for the betterment of the whole family unit.
Beautiful. Okay. But one thing that I think about when I listen to what you just shared and I look at your catalog is you really focus on the children. So why is it important for our community to focus on the children? Or am I missing something? Is the book something that children and parents can both learn from? Why is it important to focus on the children?
I'm sorry, you broke up a little bit. Okay, go ahead. I hear you. Wow.
Yeah, so why is it?
Listen, you ask any parent, what's the most important thing in your life? And they will say their children. I mean, unless you just are soulless, I mean, as a parent, which I'm hoping that's not the case, our children are our future. They're the catalyst of everything that really matters in this world. And to empower our children about finance and entrepreneurship at an early age, I think is essential, not just for the betterment of their lives, but for the betterment of our lives as parents, and even greater as a community. I mean, I think empowering our children is basically the tide that lifts all boats in any community. The smarter that we are, that we empower our children to be, the only greater it's going to serve us in the micro and the macro as individuals and families, and greater as citizens in this local and even global community. The paraphrase of the beautiful song, I believe the children are our future. Build them well and help them lead the way. So, it's, bring a little George Benson in here for all the old school people who might, feel a little bit of the greatest love of all. But,
okay. Salute that. So for those who didn't know, for those who are uninitiated, George Benson did it before Whitney.
Yes. Yes, that is correct. And better, if I might add. That's the big.
Whitney was a little better looking.
I don't dispute that. That's without question.
All right. Well, one of the great things is, when we study, we can study some really great examples of entrepreneurship, particularly in our community, that did some really great things. We look at Annie Malone, We look at her protege, Madam C.J. Walker. And for those who watched that bit of fiction on Netflix, Annie Malone was the woman. She was actually the first Black millionaire woman before Madam C.J. Walker. She had a whole block. I mean, do your research. They really lied about that woman on that Netflix show. But we can look at some really strong examples in our community, but most of them are adults. So tell us about some, kid entrepreneurs we need to know about.
Yeah, inside of the book, there are showcased a few young people because I think it's important if we're going to emphasize to kids about the importance of finance and entrepreneurship. I think it matters for them to be able to see kids that look like them so that, they have a sense of inspiration to be like, well, if this kid can do it, then I can do it too. There's a young lady by the name of Michaela Ulmer who started a lemonade stand called Be Sweet Lemonade. And she started out just like any lemonade stand maven would do and started selling lemonade on the corner. But she started blowing up, and now she has her lemonade in every Whole Food supermarket in the country. And she is a millionaire today simply by, getting started with a lemonade stand. Another young entrepreneur is Mo Bridges, who started a bow tie company and now is the official tie of the NBA. Also has a line of clothing and also is on Forbes list of millionaires under 25. So these are young people who started their businesses in elementary school and today are multimillionaires as young people. And so, showcasing young people like this is vital. So let other young people validate their gift and their energy so that when they think, well, maybe I want to go sell lemonade, it doesn't sound so crazy because they know that Michaela Ulmer did it. Like, I want to be a fashion designer. I can do it because I saw Mo Bridges do it. So, we really need to have that level of role modelship inside of the spirit of our children to help them and push them along so that they can achieve their own level of greatness.
Good stuff, man. I didn't know about her being in Whole Foods.
Oh, every Whole Foods, not just Whole Foods, every Whole Foods.
Ooh, okay, yeah, that's clappable.
Oh, 100.
That's clappable. The book, Make Your Own Money, How Kids Can Earn It, Save It, Spend It, and Dream Big. I like that dream big part. I think that dream big part is uber important. I had a principal and her tagline was dream big. So why is it important to teach our children to dream big?
I'll start with it's important for our children to dream. Very often you ask kids to dream a big dream. Again, they can only see I want to be LeBron James or I want to be Beyonce because that's all they see. If you, my goal is I want you to know who signed LeBron James's checks. I want you to know who signs Beyonce's checks because there's somebody paying her. What's that dream? What do they do? Or even better, what is really inside of your heart? What is really, because you might be a great basketball player or singer or whatever, but maybe that's actually not what your spirit is telling you you're supposed to do. Maybe you're supposed to be a dentist. Maybe you're supposed to be a scientist in which you can have the same level type of success, but because it's really in your spirit of who you are, it enhances your job. One of the things I think is really important is that I think many people associate job with stress or job with strife or jobs with difficulty. You can absolutely have the most joy you could possibly imagine making money, doing the job that is inside your heart and the thing that really matters to you. And there might be a kid that can shoot a jump shot, but they're really supposed to be an orthodontist because they love teeth. And there's something about being an orthodontist that really matters to them. And you know what? Orthodontists make 7 figures. It's one of the big no-joke jobs and occupations in the world. Or whether they want to be a fitness trainer or a fashion designer or a graphic designer. There's something inside of the spirit of all of our children that they're supposed to move forward with. But if they only see themselves as basketball players and hip hop artists, then they actually take away from the gift that they have inside of them. So I think what I love about this book is that it's not so much about being an entrepreneur. It's actually, to me, more about opportunity and being able to see possibility. of the things that it is that our children are destined to become, not the thing that our culture or society is forcing them to become.
Well put. Well put. One of the things that I'm not saying is missing, but one of the things that I didn't see on there that kind of struck me as I was reading it, when I look at the title of this great book, how kids can earn it, save it, spend it, and dream big, I'm wondering about the investment piece.
Oh, well, obviously.
Is the investment in themselves?
Well, I mean, that is actually part of the dream big component that's what dreaming big is. It's being able to look within inside of yourself and make those investments inside of you, whether like the steps that I give in the dream big category are reading. Reading is a tremendous investment to yourself. To be able to have great self-talk, which is inside the book, to be able to say, I am this. Whatever it follows, I am is going to really be the catalyst for what it is you become. If you say I'm clumsy, you're going to probably trip over everything. But just like Ali, if you say I am the greatest, you will be destined to be great yourself. So another component to the dream big category and invested in yourself is going out to play. And what you think that, what does going out and play have to do with being successful? Well, it sets the tone for what you can become as an entrepreneur, because playing also involves teamwork. It involves strategy. It involves a lot of different components that you may have to learn into the business world of working with people and delegating. In addition to, it can just be an escape for you if things may not be going favorable and you just need to shift your mind off of things. Go and play. So yes, there is a financial investment component to make your own money, but there's also a personal investment component of dreaming bigger so that you, again, can become the best version of yourself.
Wow, that makes so much dollars and cents.
Well played, brother. Love it.
All right, let me jump to our capstone questions. The first one being, what have you intentionally done differently from previous generations to make a better life? And a better life might be for yourself, might be for your family, it might be for the yet unborn, the future generations. It might just be for, America. But what have you done differently than previous generations?
I'll tell you there's two things specifically. One, and I learned this from an early age, and I'm grateful for my mother for it, is that I realized the power and the importance of books. Knowledge is power. And where do you get knowledge? You get them from educating yourself. And how can you educate yourself? By reading. So reading is one of the biggest and most underspoken components, especially in minority and lower income communities, that people need to do to empower themselves. Reading is the foundation of all learning, and again, knowledge is power. And you have the opportunity to build knowledge within yourself by going to the library and getting books, as my mother would say, for free 99. So definitely making books a focal point of my life, which they have always been, really matters. But I would say one of the other things that really matters to me as a person to help me get to where it is that I am today is that I realized that nothing is impossible. And in fact, if you break up the word impossible, it says I'm possible. And I always say to myself, I have no plan B. Whatever it is I put inside my heart and soul, I know can be accomplished. So I know that I can accomplish it. There is no plan B. When I give myself a plan B, that's telling me that I don't believe in my plan A. And that is not the life that I live. When I decide that I am going to become a best-selling author, that's what I'm going to do. Despite the fact that I had no experience getting started, I've sold over 75,000 copies of this book alone. I've never been to college, but I received a doctorate for my work that you can see up here, even though I've never been to college. Like making sure that I am built with the fortitude and the strength and the courage to accomplish all of my dreams without asking for permission and doing whatever it is that I need to do by empowering myself to make it happen is the cornerstone to my success and the building blocks for my children's success, who see me and what it is that I'm doing so that they know that nothing is impossible.
Wow. I'm sure the ancestors just smiling. If you had a mic in front of you, would drop it. Man. All right. Well, the next capstone, what is one change that you're super passionate about working towards that really, really, really needs to change, that really needs to occur in the world?
Well, I'm gonna attribute it back again to reading. And I'm going to hold my brothers and sisters accountable for this. Right now, there is only about 8% of children's books published today that feature a child of color as the protagonist. Only 8%. Over 80% feature either white characters or ambiguous characters like an animal, like an elephant or a giraffe. Less than 20% make up people of color. If we're going to empower our children to read, which I think every person can agree really matters and is important, then we need to create more diverse literature for our children. And it can't just be about Underground Railroads. It can't just be about overcoming slavery. It can't just be about segregation. It's got to be about things that lift kids' spirits, that make them happy, empower them, and speak their language. So we have to do a better job of creating literature in the world of publishing, and our Black and brown authors need to do a better job of creating characters that are very broad and that speak to children, and not just Black children, but all children. If we're going to really empower all of our children to feel worthy and greater than, then we got to stop putting ourselves in boxes as being different, because we are really all the same. And the more that we can open up and broaden out how we are as a people, I think the better off we're going to be. Because little white kids are not reading about Underground Railroads. They're reading about Diary of a Wimpy Kid and Scaling Up. But when we continuously put little Black and brown kids and say, all you can learn about is segregation, all you can learn about is overcoming obstacles, then we remove the joy of being a child. And that's why a lot of our kids don't like to read, because they don't find joy within the reading. So when you create books like The Super Duper Kid or Danny Dollar that are just fun, loving books that any kid can read and gravitate to, I think you're not only empowering them or educating them and entertaining them, you're empowering them.
Okay, well, then let's go through your catalog, man. I know you have some of the books handy. Show us some of the other books, man. Show us some of the other books.
All right, I didn't have them all ready, but they're right here. I'll just step away for a hot second. So you've already met old school Danny Dollar. You've met new school Danny Dollar. I have my 2 books, The Super Duper Kid, Classic 1 and 2. Just really great, classic, fun superhero stories, which are still my favorite to read. I read comic books like all the time. My book, You Are Amazing, I Am Amazing, is a book that just showcases kids in just a fun-loving way, and I use real-life kids for this. And then my picture book is titled When I Close My Eyes, and it's just an amazing story about a little girl who uses her imagination to take her to faraway places. And it's just a really great, fun story. And yeah, that's my catalog. Those are my babies.
All right, so let's talk about the business part, man. I know I have just a few moments left. Let's talk about the business of this. You said you sold over 75,000 copies of a did I get that wrong?
No, I've sold 75,000 copies of this one book, over 100,000 copies of my books overall.
Wow. So what's that business like? Because to me, it seems like, okay, I create something, I publish it, I find a means to get it out, and then I publicize it. Am I seeing it? Am I missing some pieces? Because there's a lot of empowerment in that. I really, truly believe that the Almighty gives us talents that we may find early on or we may find later on in life, but those talents can really, truly empower us and help us out of many of our difficult situations. So did your writing help you out of a difficult situation, and how did you get to be such a great published author?
You know what? There's this book called Atomic Habits by James Cleary. I think I'm saying his name properly, but I know the book is titled Atomic Habits. And I'm going to paraphrase one of the things he says in the book. He says, a great leader figures out the game. A good leader figures out the game and learns how to work within the system of a game. A great leader creates their own game and uses their strengths to be able to move forward and win in that game. And that's exactly what I did. I realized as a self-published author, bookstores want nothing to do with me. And so trying to get my books into Barnes and Nobles and the bookstores is futile because they don't want anything to do with you. But my objective is not to get my books on the shelves of Barnes and Nobles. That's not my objective. My objective is to get my books into the hands of children, Are children in bookstores? No. Where are children? Children are in schools. Children are in daycare centers. Children are in YMCAs and Boys and Girls Clubs. And so if I connect with them as opposed to connecting with bookstores, I can partner and collaborate with them to get my books into the hands of children, because that's where children are. What's the famous adage? Why do people rob banks? Because that's where the money is. Well, why will I try to get my books into bookstores if that's not where children are? I want to get my books to where children are, and they're in schools. So I work directly with schools, directly with the YMCAs, directly with the Boys and Girls Clubs, and directly with institutions like banks and credit unions and other financial industries that would find a book like Danny's Dollar of service. That's why institutions like the Federal Reserve and a number of banks across the country have bought tens of thousands of copies of my book to empower the children of their community about finance and entrepreneurship. So for all the aspiring authors out there, find out who your object is as far as who you want to put your books in the hands of. Your objective is not to get the books into the hands of Barnes & Noble, even though there's nothing wrong with that if that's your goal. Your goal is to get your books into the hands of your reader. Well, where is your reader? And wherever they are, go to where they are and work in conjunction with them to use your book as a tool to get that objective across.
Wow. Okay, you just laid out a master plan. You just laid out the master plan. Okay, so if people want to find more of you, because I have to bring this to an end, I only had a short amount of time, TyAllanJackson.com. TyAllanJackson.com.
Yes, TyAllanJackson.com. You can also reach me on any social media platform. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, and much to my kids' chagrin, I'm also on Snapchat, I'm also on TikTok. You name it, I'm there. The self-proclaimed greatest book author of all time. Children's book author of all time. That's what's up.
That's what's up, man. Hey, Ty, man, this has been a great conversation. We truly appreciate you being a part of the Get On Code Masterclass series.
I love it.
Yeah, man. So make sure you go to TyAllanJackson.com. Remember his book, Make Your Own Money. Make your own money. Earn it, save it, spend it, and dream big. And that message of empowerment is thoroughly embossed and thoroughly a part of everything that he's doing. Hey, man, it's good to have you on Get On Code. And for coders, Get On Coders. Hey, our code keepers. Get on code. Teach the code. Become the code. And the code is empowerment. Ty, thank you for being on the show. Everyone else, we love you. Peace.
Stay fly, 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 stay fly.
The views expressed by the guests are only the views of the guests, unless we say we agree, unless explicitly stated.
Stay fly, stay fly, stay fly, stay fly, stay fly.
Stay conscious. Stay fly.